to show you how to deal with adding the big opt-in down here at the bottom of your post. So to get there, of course, you can go over to Bloom, opt-in forms, and then your opt-in forms will appear here. And I've already set one up just as a general one, and I do advise setting up one that maybe would appear on everything, and then you can start eliminating it as you go forward. So you can edit the opt-in, you can give it a name, you can select what it connects to. For design, you can change the text, and you can change the image, and then you can kind of preview what it would look like. And then for display settings, I have it turned off on the group of pages and posts. And I said I just want to display it on this one page and on this one post if I had wanted to add a post here. And you can just click save and exit. And then of course it's on my private page. So I'm actually going to use my staging site to show you examples of how you could add it to categories and take it off. So I have one set to show on all categories here. And I went ahead under display settings. It's set to display on all posts and it automatically selects all the categories here. And then I have one that is set to display on a category I have called ActiveVotes. So post, and it only is displaying on ActiveVotes. And then I have one that's called Technology that is only set to display on posts that are in the category of technology. Now here's where the problem comes in. So here is my blog post that is, just a generic blog post, but it is also in the category of technology and ActiveVotes. All three forms show up. That is the one downside. It doesn't just select one form. It says, oh, you want all three forms. I think that's a feature the plugin should add, and I hope they do one day, but we're not there yet. So the first thing I know I want to do is that I've got a special one for ActiveVotes and technology. So I'm going to go ahead and disable the all categories on ActiveVotes and technology. So as you come in here and you add a form for a particular category, if you have a form that goes to all categories, you would want to go to display settings. And I'm just going to come down here and I'm going to deselect ActiveVotes and I'm going to deselect technology. Okay, I could not figure out why I couldn't get this to disappear. And I went and looked, and I'm also in category assessment. So you do have to remove it from all categories if you have one that's set to apply on all categories. So I'm gonna go over here to display settings, and I'm also gonna remove this from assessment. So now when I look at my post, you can see I have the ActiveVotes and the technology one. And I have the ActiveVotes set up to show up specifically on anything labeled ActiveVotes. So in this case, technology is more broad and ActiveVotes is more specific. So what I'm going to do in this case is come over here to technology, display settings, and I'm just going to go ahead and exclude the specific post on ActiveVotes. So now you'll see I just have the one form here. So I've got that narrowed down for this specific post. It can start getting a little complicated. For example, if I go over to some of the ones I've labeled technology, I'm going to come down here and you're going to see I have it on all categories in my technology one, because I also have this categorized as random tips and subplans. So then I kind of have to make a decision about how I'm going to deal with that. I could come in here to my opt-in forms and just go to all categories and just exclude that specific post. And so because I've excluded that specific post, you'll see only my technology one does. With this kind of system, honestly, you really can start just about needing a spreadsheet to keep up with it. So I'm going to show you more in reality of how I actually deal with it. And if you want to do it this way, it's totally fine. You're just going to have to think very carefully about excluding and including categories and stuff. So that's one way to do it, where you're including and excluding categories. You're just going to have to check some of your posts to make sure you don't have a double opt-in on there. In general, what I do though, and I have a lot less blog posts to deal with it than you do, is to have one that's on all posts. Now I'm just going ahead and adding this on all posts. I'm going to come down here and do automatically check categories. And then you literally just do not display on these posts. So for example, I had the Activotes and I had the subtub. So I've said don't display on those posts. And now instead of doing a whole category, I'm basically just going to do it per post. So I know I want this one on the Activotes. And then I know on the technology one, I want this instead of displaying on a category. And now I want to display this one on the subtub. And so this should have the same effect, is that only the technology one is on the subtub. And then if I go to another random post, you'll see my generic one shows up. So that's a couple different approaches to it. Let me know if you have any questions.